Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on March the 26th, 2020. My apologies for not being able to do the market analysis yesterday. I was not feeling so well, but here we are again today. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So the biggest thing that we saw happen today and yesterday was really in terms of the stimulus package that US released. So in expectation of this package, we saw the stock markets go up, and the package that was introduced was for $2 trillion, and this includes all kinds of support for small businesses, individuals, as well as large businesses. Now that the stimulus package has been announced, we did see the stock market drop as a result of that. And now coming up on Thursday here, we have Bank of England. In terms of interest rates here, they already did 2 interest rate cuts and not expecting any interest rate cut at this point. The focus will be more on the commentary in terms of them supporting the markets and them being able to purchase securities in the market in order to support the market. So that's really what we are looking for in terms of Bank of England here, not expecting any kind of fireworks or anything here. And then we have unemployment claims here. We are expected to see more actually. So here we have 281K. Here it only says 164. I think we'll have more than this. And if we have more unemployment claims, that would be negative for the US dollar. And also we have final GDP numbers here for the quarter. I would expect this to actually decline a bit. So if the data comes out below expectations, we're likely to see the US dollar drop. But on the flip side, though, with stock markets dropping, usually when the stock markets drop, we see a move into the US dollar and into Japanese yen. And as a result of that, so we may see that balanced out, the negative data get balanced out by the demand for US dollars. So we'll have to keep an eye on the US dollar, especially around the time we get this data release. So let's go on to the charts now. We'll start out by looking at our euro dollar as usual. So we had nice big bullish candle close here for euro. And now price is into resistance here. So bias is bullish, but I would be very careful into this resistance, because if price is not able to go through 1.0890 or let's say 1.09, then chances are very high that we could see a turnaround from here, because this is an important support resistance level here. Last time price came to this level, which was yesterday, we did see it turn around. But right now we do have a nice bullish candle close. So this becomes a critical level at 1.09. Now, should it go through here, then we're looking for next level here, which is 1.0980. And then above that, we have 1.1050. So the level to watch would be 1.09. If it stays below this, I'm looking for price to come back down, especially if the US dollar gets stronger. Across the board, we are likely to see a decline in that. So I would be cautious with this one. So bias is bullish, but with caution. Pound dollar here. Pound here as well, we did have a bullish day, but again, this one is also into resistance here. And we did see that price bounced off of the resistance level here. So in this case, even though we have a bullish candle close, I'm actually neutral, because we may get a move like this. Price may go to retest the high, and then we may see a decline from there. So that's something to keep in mind. So right now, bias is neutral. And if we do see price go through that resistance, though, then we're looking at 1.22 as the next level. So in this case, the market sentiment as well as the US data will play a role. So right now, I'm going to be neutral on this, but if it goes through this resistance at 1.1980, 1.22 becomes the next target for pound dollar. Aussie dollar here, we have a pin or doji here, so bias is bearish, and we already see that a move has started. I'm looking for price to decline here. First target is 1.0520 and then 1.0660. So bias is bearish for Aussie dollar. Same thing here for New Zealand dollar as well. We do have a pin bar here, big pin in the top, which shows a rejection of that level here. So now I'm looking for price to drop in terms of the target here. First target would be 0.5730. And even potentially into 0.5680 and then 0.5580. So bias here is bearish for New Zealand dollar. Dollar CAD here, we saw a nice drop in dollar CAD. So bias here is bearish. However, again, with caution here, because we do see that price is into support. However, it is a nice strong candle here, which means we could see continuation of this momentum to the downside. So at this point, I am neutral on this, and the type of move that we could expect would be something like this. On the flip side though, if we do not see price break this level, we could just see a move back into this range that price has been trading for the last few days here. So right now, bias is bearish, but with caution. So should it go through though, then we're looking at 1.40 and 1.3950. So those will be the two targets to the downside. So bearish bias for dollar CAD. Let's take a look at our commodities now. We did see that silver here has gone up for the last several days here. And now price is into resistance. So we need to watch out for this. If it's not able to get through 14.70, then chances are it's going to drop. So today's candle close actually is neutral here, even though there's some bullishness in it. But overall, this candle is a lot weaker. This is an indecision candle compared to this candle or the previous candle here. So neutral bias here. Basically, what I'm looking for is the play at 14.70. If price holds below 14.70, I'm looking for it to drop further. First target would be 14 and then looking at 13.20. So right now this is neutral, but should it go through this 14.70, then we're looking at 15.25 and even potentially into 15.50. So right now I'm neutral on silver. Gold here, we have seen gold go up quite a bit here. And today we have a bearish candle close, but this one's a little bit on the neutral side here as well. So I'm looking for price to drop essentially into 1590. And then if it continues through, we could see price come into 1562. So bias here is bearish for gold. Oil here, oil hasn't really done a whole lot. We see that price just opened and closed at exactly the same point, hasn't really budged at this level at this point. So right now, bias is neutral. We'll have to see if it's able to even make it all the way into 28.80. Right now, it doesn't have much momentum. And a lot of times what happens is if price does not have momentum, chances are it's going to go in the opposite direction, which means we could see a decline towards 20.50. But overall bias right now is neutral for oil. Copper here, copper, we saw that price went up a couple days ago. Today's candle close here is looking neutral here. We have pins on both sides. So bias is neutral. I would look for price to retest the high just because there is some bullishness in it, and then looking for a drop towards 2.10. So bias is neutral, but if it goes through that level, next target for copper here will be 2.0. So bias right now is neutral for copper. So for some reason, if it does go through the resistance level, we could see price go all the way into 2.30. So it's important to watch this level at 2.20. If it holds below, I'm looking for price to drop. Bitcoin here, we see that price has been struggling with this resistance level at 69.20. And now we have a bearish candle close, which means we are likely to see price drop here. And in this case, target would be 59.80. and the move that I'm anticipating would be a retest of the high potentially at 69.20, and then looking for a drop from there. 59.80 is the target, and below that we have 56.50. So bias is bearish for Bitcoin. S&P 500, we saw a big move to the upside here when the markets were waiting for the stimulus package to be announced. And even today here, we saw a big move to the upside based on the what do you say? Based on the rumor or anticipation of the stimulus package. But then we saw price decline from there. So at this point, bias is actually bearish for S&P 500. I'm looking for price to drop further here. First target is 2400, and then below that we are looking at 2280. 2360 and then 2280 will be the next two targets to the downside. So bias is bearish here for S&P 500. Nasdaq here, this one we saw that price went up for the last 3 days, went right into our resistance here, and once the stimulus package was announced, we saw a drop. So it's very much the case of buy the rumor, sell the news. So now that we have a decline from the top here, we do have a bearish candle close here, so looking for price to drop. First target is 7,300, and then below that we are looking at 7,000. So bias is bearish for Nasdaq. And then Dow Jones here, same thing. We saw price go up for the last couple of days based on the expectation that there will be a stimulus package. But now that it's announced, same thing here. I'm looking for a decline. So bias is bearish here. First target would be low of today, which is 20,380. And then we're looking at 19,920. So bias is bearish here for Dow Jones. DAX here, we have a neutral candle close. Price went into resistance and then dropped from there. So bias here is a bearish actually. I'm looking for price to drop. First target is 9,100, and then we're looking at 87.40 here. So bias is bearish for DAX as well. Footsie here, we did see a bullish candle close, but as we can see, price is into resistance. So here, I would look for a potential retest of 57.90, and then if it holds below, I'm looking for price to drop. And then we have 54.80 here as the first target. I'm sorry, 54.40 as the first target, and then we have 52.30 as the second target. So bias is bearish here for Footsie as well. Nikkei here, we saw a neutral candle close for the last couple of days. Same thing here, big moves up in the equity markets. But today, we didn't see a further move to the upside. So the market is losing momentum, which means we could see a drop here. So in this case, bias is neutral here. If price holds below this level of 19,650, I'm looking for a drop here. So 18,430 is the first target here. And then below that, we're looking at 17,760. So bias here is neutral for Footsie. Sorry, neutral for Nikkei. My apologies. All right, so that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.